Welcome to part 2 of this set of 3 videos to help students set up APA referencing in Word. So in part 2, we're going to move on from now we've already inserted our citations and we've started to set up our sources. Now we're going to take a closer look at the placeholders that the citations are in and look at how we can modify those, move those around. And then we'll get on to managing our sources so that if you've used different citations and references in another document, then I'll show you how you can bring it across so you don't have to repeat the process in Word. Okay, so let's get to it. So this second video is going to explore how to edit and modify citations and manage our sources across documents. Now is when you're going to really start to see some of the time-saving benefits of using this feature. So what we want to do now is we're going to go and have a closer look at the little citation placeholders. So if I click in my first citation here, as I click in it, you can see the little dots on the left-hand side. But if I click those 3 dots, it selects the entire citation. Now that means what I can now do is I can edit it in terms of moving it around, rearranging it. So I could, if I want to do, just press my delete key and it's gone. Okay, I'll just undo that. What I can also do with it selected, I can click with my mouse and drag to a new position. So I can put it there. Let's again, just undo it. Or I could hold down my control key if I wanted to use the same citation somewhere else, and I could move it down and copy it to a new location. And again, I'll just undo that. So the other button that you have in the little citation placeholders, this little arrow to the right. So we can use that to edit the actual citation itself. So what that means when I go in there is it gives me some options. So for example, if you want to have in a page number, I can do that. Okay, so you can see that it formats it correctly and pops it into the citation. What I can also do is I can go and I can ask it to suppress the author and maybe the year if you want to. So what that means is that if I click OK, so you can modify it to whatever information you actually want to include. So I'm just going to take that back. I'll leave the page number in. Okay, so the placeholder has exactly the same things, but what it also has in that menu for both of them is when you click on that drop-down arrow, you can go and edit the source. Now, this is a blank placeholder, so therefore I'm going to get the blank dialog box. In the case of the one up here, when I click on the arrow and edit the source, it brings up the same information. So if I realize that I made a mistake and I want to go back and make a change, let's change the date to 2021. And what I want to watch is look at this other one behind you. We've used this more than once, so watch what happens to the other citations as well. When I click OK, it doesn't just change the one that I'm on, but it changes them for all of the citations based on that source in this document. Okay, so the other thing that we can do is if you want to insert a citation from a source that you used in another document, then you can use the Manage Sources dialog box. So let's bring that up. So I go up here, I choose Manage Sources. So what I have here is a full list of all of the sources that I've ever used in a document in Word. And that's my master list. On the right, I have my current list. And you can see the 3 that I've already got and also the placeholder 1. The placeholder 1 has a question mark because I haven't actually filled it in yet. And the other 3 have little check marks next to them because I have actually cited those and filled all the information in as a source. So if I have one that I've used previously, I can either search for it in the box at the top. So if I can remember the author, maybe they're not the exact title of the work, then I can use that. I can also sort them in whatever way I want. So if I remember the author, or I can only remember the year of the publication, I can just rearrange it to however helps me the most. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one up here in the list. What have we got here? All sorts in here. So let's just pick up this one and I can copy it across. And so what I have here now is in my current document, I have a source that does not have a check mark. But what that means is when I click close and I want to insert something from that source, I position my cursor. When I go to insert citation, it appears in the list. Okay, it was this one. So now that I've used it, when I go back to manage sources, it now has a little check mark. So if you bring one across, let's just pick up a different one. Let's copy that across. But you later decide, or you just forget about it and decide you don't need it. Be very careful whether it has the check mark or not. Word will put all 5 of these into your references list at the end. And if you recall that the APA rules state that you must only have in your references those sources that you have actually cited. So that's quite important. So if you decide not to use it, you can come back up in here and you can just delete it. So make sure you have ticks next to all of them. But you'll also see from here, you've got an edit menu, so I can go and edit the details here. You've also got a brand new box if you want to do a new one while you're here. And whichever one you've chosen, it gives you a little example down here of what the reference will actually look like and also what the citation will look like. So that might be helpful too. Okay, and if I decide there's one that I don't want to use, then I can use the delete key. These are grayed out at the moment simply because I have used them. It doesn't want me to delete the source without deleting the citation, so I would need to delete the citation first. Okay, so let's close that off. That's pretty much it for part 2. So the next video, part 3, will be taking all those sources and putting them into a reference list at the end of your document. So I will see you in part 3. On the Mac, the citation placeholders are pretty similar. So if I click into this one, we get the same 3 dots, the same little drop-down arrow at the end. So where it changes slightly is when I'm looking at the citations pane. So I have all the different sources in here, and if I want to go and manage those sources, then I can go down to this little icon at the bottom, this little circle with the 3 dots in it, click on that and choose citations, so you can pick up previous sources from a master list. Watch out for the ticks again, but other than that, it's pretty much the same.